Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutare Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Shesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Today we are discussing chapter 2 verse 15. Yam hina vyatayantyete purusham purusharshabha samadukha sukham dhiram somrutatvaya kalpate. O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. So Prabhupada, in the previous verse, Krishna is talking about tolerance. We talked about how tolerance is so important. Now Krishna is answering this question: what is the benefit of tolerating happiness and distress? Is there any benefit in this whole on the progress on the spiritual path? So he says, yes. One who is steady in determination, undisturbed, and is undisturbed by happiness and distress, is certainly eligible for liberation. So this is a very important quality. So there are two things that are mentioned here. One is steadiness in determination and tolerance. So tolerance we already discussed. So like we said, tolerance helps us to somewhat become detached from the body, move beyond this bodily platform of I and mine. And we know that this whole concept of I and mine is one of the 10 nama paradas, so which actually is a major deterrent in our progress in bhakti. So tolerance is very important. Its importance is understood. Steadiness, actually Srila Rupa Goswami says utsaha nishchaya dhairyat. So we should have enthusiasm, determination and patience. And this is also, this is called dhriti. This is actually one of the daivi sampada, in the godly divine qualities. So in the 16th chapter, Krishna discusses this. And Prabhupada, in the purport, he says that steadiness in determination, steady determination means in spite of difficulties, one has to remain fixed in his sadhana. One has to go on even if there is failure, even if there are difficulties, even if there are impediments. And also when there are no impediments, it's a good idea to be fully enthusiastic and do our bhakti very nicely, because then when we get into difficulty, this bhakti that we have done in good time will help us out, because it would have, by that bhakti we would have developed some spiritual strength and we'll be able to fight through difficulties by the mercy of Lord Krishna. So this steadiness is very important. Also, in the purport, Prabhupada is talking about one more aspect, which is to persevere. So he talks about how it is difficult for a sannyasi to cut family relations, etc. But with respect to Arjuna, he says that one has to persevere, even if it is difficult to fight with family members or similarly beloved persons. One has to persevere, which means that we know so many difficulties, so many devotees experience difficulties in their bhakti, and those who don't have difficulties coming from family members or other relations, society, etc., pretty fortunate. Actually, we don't realize the importance of it, but there are so many devotees who are struggling, so many difficulties they have to face, opposition to do the very simple activities of bhakti. So here Prabhupada is advising us that we have to persevere. One has to persevere and be steady and tolerate. So tolerate those difficulties, remain steady. Now, tolerate doesn't mean that we succumb to their push or force. We have to remain steady. Come what may around us, we have to remain steady. Hmm. Like somebody was asking, okay, Prabhu, I have to go to a function. Um, should I eat the food there or not? It is so that the advice is very clear. The instruction is very clear that we should not eat non-prasadam. Right? So it depends on our steadiness, our determination, our perseverance. Mm. And we should, with perseverance, with steadiness, deal with all these problems. In fact, when we are able to um, overcome these problems by Krishna's grace, as in Krishna is pleased, so he gives us mercy and helps us overcome these problems over a period of time. And then once we overcome, then we feel that satisfaction. Oh, okay, nice that I stuck to the guidance by the acharyas, given by the acharyas. So it is very important because it will certainly eligible for liberation. Now, for us, liberation means muktir hitva anyata rupam swarupena vyavastitihi. So to come to the platform of Brahmabhuta, Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. Only in Brahmabhuta stage will we actually get bhakti of Krishna. So for that we have to develop these two qualities. We have to remain tolerant and we have to remain steady so that we can progress. Most of us will be stuck in anartha nivritti for a very long time in our long duration in our life, because that is the most difficult stage of our bhakti, where we have to get over all our anarthas. And of course, I mean, anarthas go on till bhava, stage of bhava. But still, majority of the anarthas are destroyed post anartha nivritti and before, as we enter nishta. So for us to be able to progress, like, anartha nivritti is like uphill. If you're, say, suppose you're cycling and you're riding on a bicycle and you're trying to climb up the hill, so much of effort has to be put to pedal and pedal and pedal continuously, because even if for 1 second you stop pedaling, then you just slide down, and the pace at which one slides down is much faster than the pace at which one makes progress. So unless we are steady, perseverant, tolerant, uh, we cannot make progress. And it's a very important what we should measure ourselves is, am I at least as good as yesterday with respect to whatever devotional activities I'm doing? Ideally, we should be better than yesterday. Every day should be better than the previous day. But if not better, at least it should not deteriorate. Many times, especially people working in software, etc., suddenly some huge amount of work comes in, some tough deadlines, etc. Now, in spite of all this, we should not come down in our steadiness in our sadhana. In fact, like we have to, at least in Grihastha, like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, we should reach at least 8 hours of doing bhakti and 8 hours for our occupational duty. So we have to continuously actually keep increasing this amount of time that we are spending for Krishna. Only then we can think about quality. So for which we have to remain steady, we have to persevere, we have to tolerate our problems, we have to keep pushing, pushing, pushing. That's why Srila Prabhupada said it's a pushing movement. And we have to push ourselves, we have to push others need to push us, and so on and so forth. And everybody has to make progress. So, which is, the reason why one has to have very good association. If one is in the right association doesn't simply mean Hare Krishna, Prabhu, how are you? No, that is not association. Association is we should associate with those devotees who can help us make progress, who can help us fight through difficulties, stay steady in our sadhana. We should associate with such devotees, right? And similarly, we might have to give association for others if we have the qualification to do that, right? So this is very, very important. One should never forget Krishna is always with us, helping us, provided, and of course our free will has to be utilized in the right direction, and we should be steady to make progress, and Krishna will definitely help us and guide us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.